All right, here's my inquiry project, process findings, reflections, and next steps. That's me, Rebecca Marino. Here is my teaching context. I teach first grade all content. This is my 6th year at the same school. Our community is predominantly African American. We're currently a D school. We house 1,000 students, and 20% of our student body is SWE. Our school is in the process of becoming a lighthouse school, which this is a district mandate, and they're using the Leader in Me framework from Stephen Covey. We have band, music, dance team, majorette team, and our students participate in art, music, PE, and library pullouts. Here is where my mind was at prior to finding my my research question. It's about paradigm shifting. Theories and practice belong together as reflective. Engage in reflection. We hope to see you exercise it as important. We hope you see it as an exercise to help you become aware of and act upon the thinking that you do during times of uncertainty, uniqueness, and instability in your classroom. Here are my reflections about that. How can I distinguish wanting to believe in research that appeals to my belief versus having a critical, reflective perspective in research that appeals to my beliefs? Why believe something positive and not believe in something negative? How can I gain the perspective of understanding information without discarding it just because it's not ideal or appealing? Here are my connections. Paradigm shifts are real and influence relationships, management, instructional practices. Reflection and action, reflection on action, and reflection. How does my reflections impact my instruction? Are my reflections negatively or positively impacting my students? Here is what I came up with. Here was my working research question. How can mentor text writing instruction promote literacy engagement? I wanted to take behavior management out of it. For off-task behavior. So it's strictly about, are students engaging or not engaging? Do they need prompting without clips or bribery or consequences? Like, I took all of that out of it just to see what's happening with their engagement with literacy and how the mentor text promotes that. My goals were transformative research, figure out my students' intelligence. Questioning is part of the process, see clarity through my practice and through researching topics. And observable data is trustworthy, new, and important. I had to trust myself with this. And here are my obstacles. Strict, enforced district pacing in all content areas, school policies for daily computer-based programs and literacy and math. School-wide shutdown for Focus Friday computer-based state prep testing. So this can have burnout with students. And then a tornado hit the community during this. So I wanted to put these up just so that way I can always go back to this because it really helped me keep focused and determined. And the purpose of this is to venture in all the possibilities, and it's about developing solutions and determining assets. Here were my inquiry inspirations: equity, diversity, inclusion of literacy teaching. So I just went ahead and snipped out some of the Saylor and Hoffman quotes that really helped me with my inquiry. And this is what I was questioning and inspired to do. I wanted to figure out my students' authentic expertise in literacy learning. What questions am I asking to reveal this student authenticity to engage? What mentor texts promote engagement? And how am I tracking trustworthy, new, and important data? This is situating with other scholars. So this is one of the journals, is seeing families through. Here were her suggestions. And then from her suggestions, I created a family literacy development questionnaire to try to create like a culture of like a village. Like, I want to know more about you, so that way I can put that in my classroom, not about what I am doing in my room and what they can do in their home that is mirroring my room. I wanted them to know that I'm trying to mirror their home, by allowing them to know that they're also the teacher and what they enjoy teaching and learning in their house, whatever avenue that is, or how they engage in literacy. Here was another one. Here were some suggestions that they had. And this was how I wanted to do this, how I wanted to do integration with their suggestions. So I didn't get to integrate this, but it's a great resource for me, for the next however many years I'm in the classroom to implement and integrate in my room. And it was about, this was a review writing with mentor text. So this was on upper grades, and then I did an integration ideas for first grade. Also with this, it wasn't just about the books, but it was also the authors themselves, which I thought that was pretty cool. This is another one about getting stuck and like being resilient through writing and like the process of learning to do that. These were the findings and these were my takeaways. I really enjoyed this one. Like, instead of like trying to keep students from being off task, letting them know that they can take a break and they can actually draw what they're trying to write, and that helps them actually go back to the writing, to help them through the difficult times that you have. And then the idea of self-efficacy was really cool. And then understanding this cognitive load. So maybe my students who are needing prompting because they're reluctant is because of this cognitive load. And then I can go back to using the drawing to help them feel like they can accomplish the task. So that was awesome. So this is my implementation background. So this is what really formed my data. My working plan was about the interpretivist approach to research. This is what I felt most comfortable doing. This was my working plan framework. So this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to have artifacts of their journal. I wanted to do trackers. I wanted to journal. This was during journal writing time in the morning. And then this was like in literacy engagement data trackers. So like throughout the day after this journal writing time, like what do they do? How are they engaging with literacy when not in like literacy activities that are available for them whenever they're finished their literacy tasks. Here are my field notes for pre-tornado. I was able to do 2 weeks. I had to rewrite them because they only really made sense to me, and I was trying to make them make sense to everybody. But I really like this idea of a tracker. I like the AM PM. This is without prompting. If they have a plus, that's like 2 different activities they completed, and then this is one activity they were not completed but participated in. These are do students ask to engage in literacy activities outside of routines? So like instead of doing their early finisher, they might say like, hey, can I read my books and not do my early finisher today? Or can I get on Epic instead of doing my I Spy Phonics? So this was like really like what they wanted to do instead of like what was necessarily like supposed to be completed, which was very interesting. So first it went into engaging without prompting, and then the next week I wanted to see whether or not they asked. And this was pre-tornado. And then post-tornado had to go to this way of literacy behavior observations. Also, let me note, this was very, very, ambitious. When it came down to being present and being there with my kids, this was more manageable. So even though I wanted to do like a journal writing and these journal writings, it was really difficult. And also I had more trackers with different questions, but these were the main ones that I gained the most knowledge for, that really helped me after I had taught a mentor text lesson. Then so this is my pre-post notes of students' behaviors for literacy engagement after I had taught a mentor text lesson. And then we go to post. We had spring break and then we had a tornado hit our community. So what happened is I couldn't teach any more mentor text because we were off pacing, and my district is super strict about pacing. So instead of doing another mentor text, I just went ahead and like noted, do they have independent engagement? Do you have to prompt? Is it a refusal? Is it a prompting but willing to engage? Are there redirections? Is there just compliance? So this was more about like literally the observation of like their literacy engagement without mentor text, which was very interesting. And here are my reflections. So the process: increase natural research for different look-fors and ideas to implement the classroom. Inspiration: look for trends through the instructional day. Try different ways to engage in the classroom by providing new tasks and activities. The framework: I really enjoyed the trackers and field notes. They worked the best for me and my type of teaching. And instead of journaling, I was going to try to do voice notes. I didn't get to because of the tornado, but that's what I was going into. Film, just videoing them, and I was able to get some pictures. And then this was the other one, like, be in the moment when trapping behaviors. Don't ever wait. Like, have it on your clipboard and like do it right away, because you can't remember everything. Things happen, and you know how our schedules are and all of our things to do. The next steps is don't hesitate to try again. Try to find connections in the questions to lead you to observable behavior. Give yourself time to reflect the negative and have just as much to learn from as the positives. And ask students about what motivates them to participate in literacy activities. So these are just some things to help remember that it's okay that it didn't necessarily work out the way that I had planned because of the things that had happened in our community. And then this is something that I wanted to add to my inquiry whenever I get to teach first grade again next year, because I'll be back in first grade, which is great. Here's my pre-tornado pics. There's a lot more movement. There is a lot more choice. There's a lot more just engagement. And this was a fun little journal this kid did. And then post-tornado, I had to go back to routines because that's what our kids need. So we had to kind of go right back into the routines and kind of all the choice and movement around the room. And we have just very off-task behavior because, you know, they went through a traumatic event. And here are my references. Thank you for listening.